everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I'm back with another speed build, and this is going to be a pretty big build as we are building a large family farmhouse in the world of Brindleton Bay, which is the world that comes with the Cats and Dogs expansion pack. It's been a while since I did a farmhouse in the game, and also I just was in the mood to build something a little bit bigger with a lot of outdoor space, and so that's exactly what we are doing here today. I really hope you enjoy this one. If you do and you'd like to download it, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find that under the hashtag Gryphi, and that information is also in the description down below as well. So right now I am just trying to figure out our roof line, and this house actually does get significantly wider than it is right now, but at first I was starting off with this simple shape and I wanted to leave as much in as possible for you to see like the process of me coming to the final shape that I ended up with. And this actually ends up being a 5-bedroom house, and there's also, I believe, an office in here, and it's just really spacious, a beautiful backyard space that has lots of seating, lots of greenery. There's places for chickens and horses and goats, and there's just a lot on this lot, so I am very excited to share this one. But before we get too far into this build, I did want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor. I was so excited to be working with Midas Merge again this month, so thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video. Midas Merge is an adorable mobile game where you can discover and nurture these amazing creatures and gardens, and it's an addictive merge game. I really think you're gonna like this game as it was created by the previous lead designer of The Sims 3, and you can combine so many cute creatures to discover unique evolutions and distinct abilities across multiple gardens. And there's quite a bit of lore to uncover. You're helping King Midas and Queen Leah as they go on a journey to restore the Gardens of Gold. And through this gameplay, you're gonna hatch some new creatures who, when fed with magical items, can create sunbursts that will illuminate the land that is covered in shadows, which was cast by the goddess of night, Nyx. And there's a really deep backstory to uncover on why Nyx decided to cast shadows on the Gardens of Gold. The creatures in this game are so cute, and I love curling up in bed, merging items, and restoring these beautiful gardens. It's just such a lovely way to relax at the end of my day, and you don't even need to be connected to Wi-Fi. You can play offline wherever you want, and it's completely free. And speaking of free, you can download Midas Merge right now by clicking the link in my description or scanning the QR code on screen now. And actually right now, Midas Merge is giving away a $500 Amazon voucher to a lucky viewer who downloads and reaches level 10 in the game. So make sure to download and start healing your garden now. It's honestly such a fun game, and I really think you're going to enjoy it. Thank you again to Midas Merge for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. So yeah, just adding some more columns around this and extending the upstairs and starting to play around a little bit with the shape, as well as a trim on the outside of the building. I believe the one I'm using is from the Seasons expansion pack. I think it's really pretty, and it's not one I use very often. And then I chose this stone foundation from the Outdoor Retreat game pack. Speaking of game packs, it's been forever since we got one. I kind of missed them. Now let me know if you agree with that. But here I'm just trying to figure out the best way to lay out the stairs, because I didn't really want them to go across that entire space, but I wanted to have stairs centered in this area. And then I am choosing the fence I want, which is this one from Cats and Dogs. And I paired it with some columns from Horse Ranch. I'm using a ton of packs in this build, by the way. Apologies for that. Not a limited pack build whatsoever, but let me know if there are specific limited pack things you would like to see sometime soon. I do have a lot of fun doing those as well, but I just wanted to go all out and create this farmhouse, and I really hope you like it. So this is where I decided I wanted to put a chimney on the outside of the house, and that's when I'm starting to think about the colors I want to have here and the general roof line. I knew I wanted to create something with debug with these wood planks to create a really pretty decorative piece in the roof. So you can see me doing that now. I did cut out a huge process of this, or like a huge chunk of this process, because, well, I get comments all the time asking me to do like a tutorial on Tool. I'm very bad at using the Tool mod, so this took me an embarrassing amount of time to go ahead and do. So I only kept in a little bit of it, so you can see the gist of what I was doing. Because it would probably be quite painful to watch. I know it was for me watching it back and the process of doing it, but I'm really glad that I did it, and I really love how this roof looks. So hopefully you think it looks okay as well, and you don't mind that footage missing. I still really do want to upload a video where I just talk about the things I generally do in Tool and like how I approach it as somebody that is not an expert whatsoever. So hopefully at some point I will find time to sit down and do that. I feel like this month and last month, like the last couple of months, have been so busy and I haven't had time for all the things I want to do. So apologies for some of the things I've talked about doing that haven't come out yet, but hopefully sometime soon, sometime this summer. But anyway, I'm starting to place some windows now. I ended up going with these ones from the Seasons expansion pack. I think they're really pretty and I don't use them that often. I think it's because when Seasons came out, I overused these windows, so I just stopped using them for a while. But it was nice to bring them back here and yeah, we're just figuring out some more with the windows and the roof and fencing in the backyard/side yard. It's a pretty big yard, but most of it is going to be covered in landscaping because I just had so much fun with that. You'll see it a little bit later, but we are starting to put down some terrain paint here. And I do end up doing some landscaping and then I come back to it. And it's just a lot of like back and forth. That tends to be most of my builds these days where I start something and then I come back to it and I bounce around it as I get ideas. That's just kind of how I build. But I also decided I wanted to have a separate like sort of garage space. And this actually ends up not being a garage, but more of a barn for horses. And there's not a ton of space in the backyard for horses, but I basically set it up so if you wanted to have horses, you could. But I was kind of imagining that the baby goats were the ones that were using the beds I put inside that are horse beds. I thought that that was a really cute idea. And I feel like just leaving it open-ended like that, your Sims can have whatever sort of pets they'd like. So anyway, out front, I am lining out this garden bed with these rocks. I don't think I've ever done this with these, and I think it looks so nice. They lend themselves perfectly to this sort of shape because you could just rotate it either way for whatever curve you need. And then I was just trying to figure out which sort of trees I wanted to put here. I'm using a lot of Show Live Edit objects specifically from cats and dogs since I am building in the world of Brindleton Bay, so that's what you see in the lot surrounding here, but I'm also mixing in plenty of stuff from Cottage Living because that landscaping is so pretty. It's my favorite ones in the game, and then getting some flower boxes up here as well. I went for these purple ones to kind of mimic the lavender you're seeing throughout the rest of the landscaping. And yeah, just adding some more to the garage space and framing out another garden bed over here as well with these rocks. This one isn't like as exciting. I think the other one looks nicer with the fun curve, but I thought it'd be nice to replicate the same kind of stones over here. So that is what we are doing. I don't end up using these in the backyard. I thought having things a little bit more natural in the backyard made more sense. Or I guess like just less structured so there doesn't end up being as many rocks back there. I also decided to add a little pond in the front yard here. I don't often add ponds, and so I thought this was a perfect spot to include one. I thought it worked really nice with the theme of this house, so I was quite happy with that. And I used my favorite water texture, which is this one that has like leaves that have fallen in it. It just seems the most realistic to me. And then getting some more shrubs and stuff over by the driveway so that it blends in a little bit nicer to its surroundings. I added a swing set out in the front yard and a little bike. And I know swing sets probably make more sense in a backyard, but I like how they look in the front yard. And also it was my experience growing up. The only time I ever had a swing set was when I was really little. I don't know what happened to it, why we got rid of it, but it was in our front yard, like at the bottom of the driveway. And so that's just like where I naturally want to put them. And I think it looks nice in The Sims. So that's what I did. But we are heading inside now to start working on the floor plan before we go back outside. I just kind of bounce around a lot, as I had mentioned. So we have the staircase right here. And then off of that, we're going to have our dining room. The kitchen is in the back. Our living room is going to be off on the right side of the build with an office in that space that I just sectioned off. And there's one bathroom on the bottom floor as well. And then upstairs is where all of the bedrooms are. It ends up being quite a busy floor plan up here. And the rooms are all like of various sizes. I end up having 2 bathrooms that are for the entire floor up here and an ensuite for the primary, which I'm pretty sure I don't add the ensuite until like much later in the build. It was like a last minute decision, but that is included. And yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to fit this in and make it look less awkward. So I added a diagonal wall, or maybe I didn't. I just bumped that one out a little bit more. And then here I am trying to separate these bathrooms. Or maybe I did add the bathroom right away. I was trying to figure out what to do with this. Yeah, okay. It looks like I did add that. It's just I didn't know what I was going to do with it at first. But anyway, this is where I'm just adding some flooring in here. I'm pretty sure this flooring is from Horse Ranch, and I just threw beds in all of the rooms to be like, this is going to be a bedroom. And then we are back outside in the backyard, and I wanted to make sure I had plenty of these large crop plots that came with cottage living, so your Sims could do lots of gardening, any kind they wanted. And I don't keep as many as I have because I started placing them down and I was like, let me do the landscaping around this first and we'll reassess. And so I ended up having way less than this, but it's fine. That's just kind of how it goes. Sometimes I was really happy with the final result though. So I ended up just having 2 rows, and that's how many I ended up having. And then we are moving back to this area for our porch right outside the backyard or the back door. I wanted to frame this in with lots of plants. There ends up being some seating out here with a large table with an umbrella. I end up actually using the new gazebo that came with, this one right here that came with the Riviera Retreat kit. I love that one. I think it is so pretty. So I was very excited that in the middle of building this, that kit came out because it ended up being the perfect addition for this backyard. And it was not something I was considering at all when I started this build. So probably because it wasn't announced and I had no idea this item existed. But anyway, I'm also using these stones that came with that kit to lead you to the gazebo. And I end up having another set of those leading you over to that gardening space as well, which I'm going to fence off so it's a little bit separate. And I have a space for chickens over on the other side of this area. And of course, so much more landscaping. I'm just going all out with the plants back here. I think it looks so lush and beautiful. And I don't know. I love this style of build where it's like, I guess just like a farmhouse. I really enjoy building farmhouses in the game, which is part of the reason I was so excited for cottage living and horse ranch. I feel like they are just really nice packs that give us a lot of the gameplay and style that a lot of us like. The like cozy farming vibes. I love it. And I feel like this is a good house for whatever size family you have in mind or however many pets you have. There's plenty of space here for everybody. You could probably like rearrange the floor plan to add some more bedrooms. I know the office on the main floor could be a bedroom instead. And you could probably turn like the little garage space or the horse area into some bedrooms out there as well if you'd prefer to. There's a lot you could do with this build. So I was excited about it. I know I keep saying that, but this was just such a big build. It was such a big undertaking and so much landscaping. So I'm just like very, very proud of this one. So anyway, adding some more of these rocks. I'm not sure how I feel about these yet. I was really excited when we first got them, but there's only 2 of each color, like 2 different variants. And it makes them a little bit difficult to use because the debug ones I often use have 3 different rocks, so you can kind of arrange them however you'd like. And I wish there were more, but that gives us more variety than this does. So I don't know. I'm still happy to have some more like rocks you can walk on in the game. It's nice for landscaping, but I would like some more. I will always welcome some more. So we shall see what we get in the future. I'm very curious about like all of the stuff that's supposed to be coming out this quarter. I know we're supposed to be getting an expansion pack. It looks to be love themed. Very excited about that. Hopefully this voiceover isn't dated. I don't think it's going to get announced this week, but maybe by the time you're seeing this video, it will have already been announced and you'd be like, Tanya, it's already been announced. It is this. But at the time of recording this, I no idea. No idea if there is an announcement or not yet. I don't think there is, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, we are on the back porch. I added a couple of places to sit, a barbecue, as well as a chess table back here. I thought this was really cute. And you can see that table and chairs that I added. And I also wanted to make sure there was like a nice seating space. I actually ended up using these couches from, I want to say these are from Perfect Patio. Are they Perfect Patio or Backyard Stuff? I think they're Perfect Patio. I think it's just like a nice place to sit. I used to use these all the time before we had like sectionals. I used to always put the ottoman like attached to the couch to look like there was a chaise lounge. And I don't know, it's just been a long time since I used these, but I thought it would be a nice space for your Sims to just like hang out in the backyard. So just getting a little lantern in the middle there. I keep it pretty simple because there's so much stuff going on here. And then I'm starting to plan out the inside of this area for horses. So getting the 2 horse beds, lots of like hay just all around, cleaning supplies. And I also got like the hay feeder and the water thing. I can't think of what that's called, but I wanted to make sure I had all of the things you needed, plenty of lighting. I ended up adding some more windows in here. I just cover them with blinds, but I thought it would be better to have some more windows because it feels like really dark and weird in here. So I just thought brightening it up would be good. There ends up also being a lot of storage, so I end up adding like barrels and boxes and things, and the what is it called? This piece right here that you would put your horses in to travel with. It's just decorative, but I thought that was a nice use of the space in here and quite realistic if you have horses to have something to transport them with. So getting lots of extra hay piled up over here, as well as like the one that's on a wheelbarrow. I think that looks so cute. And I also end up getting like some soil and things like that. And a couple of decorations. I almost said decorations. I wanted to say decor and decorations at the same time. Anyway, just getting those up on the wall. I believe those are like pub decor that came with cottage living, but I think it worked nicely. And then outside, I'm just adding some grass for the chickens. And we'll be getting some terrain paint out here as well to really make the space feel like it's actively being used by chickens. Like it's not going to be green and pristine. So just wanted to do that, as well as getting lots of plants back here, lots of the same ones that we're seeing in the front yard and the other sides of the yard to make it blend in nicely. And then we're finally heading back inside to work on our living room. So I did end up using this fireplace from Cottage Living, and then in the kitchen, oh my gosh, this kitchen took me forever. Not only what you're seeing, but longer than what you're seeing. I cut out so much kitchen footage because I could not make up my mind about the layout in here. How did I want this to work? Which counters did I want to use? Which cabinets? And I end up using the horse ranch cabinets, but I don't use the horse ranch counters. So those are going to disappear. So I end up mixing and matching because I just wasn't happy with how worn down most of the swatches were. So I ended up using this light, like beige swatch, but for the counters, I'm pretty sure I used Jungle Adventure instead. Just because I needed something that was going to match them, but didn't look as worn down. So just grabbing that now, I think it worked out quite nicely, but it's not my favorite kitchen I've ever done. I just struggled so hard with this room, and I don't know why. Kitchens are usually my favorite part of builds, so it was different that this was the case. I think it might have to do with the floor plan, which is not my strong suit, so that could be why. But anyway, I still think it came out okay in the end, and I'm overall very, very happy with this build. I think the exterior is my favorite part, though. So yeah, we're just placing down a stove, a fridge, a sink, all of that basic stuff you need for the kitchen. It ends up being kind of a U shape. And I wanted to add a couple of items in here that were like farm-like. So we have a place for our eggs. We have like some pots and pans, and not that that's farm-like, but the eggs are, because that's going to be where we store our eggs that are directly from our chickens outside. I thought that was a cute idea. Have to get the cutting boards like always, and just getting some pretty plants in here as well. It's pretty modern, the kitchen. I feel like the house is kind of a mixture of styles. The outside ended up being more modern than I was originally intending, so I kind of brought that inside as well. Just getting a dish rack over here, and I don't think I add too much more to the kitchen other than a couple of appliances over here. I'm pretty sure I got a microwave and something else. Coffee machine? Yeah. I kind of wish I used the coffee machine that came with the bistro kit, though. I love it. It is so cute. I love how stylized it is, and I feel like I'm going to be overusing it, so maybe that's why I didn't do it here. But over in the other side of the kitchen, I decided we had space for like a breakfast area, so there is a more formal dining room just off of this space, but there was enough space in this room to also have a dining table, so that's what I decided to do. Getting some more chairs. I also have a hutch in the corner from Horse Ranch, and just trying to figure out the colors in here. I thought that the black was a little bit too much, so I ended up changing that, but I do like it. It's just I overuse brown and black together, so I was trying really hard not to, because I think I have some other builds that are they're in the works right now, so I'm not sure if they're out on the channel yet when this comes out or later, but I use a lot of black and brown, and I love how it looks. It looks so pretty. So I just really didn't want to do that in this space. And then I'm just bringing in some tile inside to, cover the floors in the kitchen and in the bathroom. And then we're moving on into the living room where I picked out this rug from, oh goodness, where is that from? Is that from Dream Home Decorator? I think it might be. Anyway, I paired that with these couches from Desert Luxe. I thought that they were perfect. I liked how simple they were. And then just grabbing these curtains from Cats and Dogs, which I used in almost every room in this house. I feel like they were just like the perfect curtain for this space. They were like second wall height or medium wall height. So I don't get to use them that often, but I love how simple they are. So anytime I can use the Cats and Dogs curtains, I try to. They look so nice here. And then just getting a bookcase over here, a record player, and I do end up having a couple of kids' toys in this living room as well to make it feel a little bit more cozy and also show that a family lives here. So those will be added momentarily. I end up having a large stuffed animal as well as a toy box. And I also really love that tray. I use it a lot, but that tray from Tiny Living, I remember when we first got that being so excited about it because I think that was the first tray item we got. And Tiny Living is like such a special pack in my heart because I've been building tiny houses since way before we had Tiny Living. And I remember talking to a couple of people on the Sims team in person when I was at EA in 2019. And one of them asked me, what do you want to see come to the game? And I said, I want a tiny house stuff pack. And they said, I have something to show you. And then I got to see it firsthand, which was so cool. So it just feels very special to me. Anyway, this is the office. It is quite small, but I feel like it has everything you would need. We even have an easel in here if your Sims like to paint or want to start pursuing that idea. A nice desk with a really nice computer. This is the one I use most of the time just because it looks more modern than most of the other ones in the game. I also got a corkboard in here since I tend to put those in pretty much every office, and a little plant in the corner. And then this is, I think, the only bathroom I show. They all have essentially the same stuff in them, although this is a half bath. All the other bathrooms are full bathrooms, so they have a shower tub combo in them as well, but this one just has a toilet and a sink. And I think it ends up being pretty cute. I love the wall paneling I ended up using in here, which I end up bringing into most of the rest of the house. And I'm pretty sure I go back and apply it to some of the rooms that don't have it already. It's a wall paneling that is from the Book Nook kit, and it's just so pretty and warm, and I feel like it just helped this house a lot. Anyway, this is the entryway. I have a side table and a mirror, basic entryway stuff, a place for your shoes, a coat rack, an umbrella stand, all of your basics, even more coat racks, some places to hang up some family portraits. I thought that this little bench from Horse Ranch was also perfect for the entryway, a place to like sit down and put your shoes on. And then this is the formal dining room I had mentioned. I'm using this really large table from Jungle Adventure paired with these chairs from Cats and Dogs. I think they worked so nicely together. I liked mixing wood tones in this build. Like having things like that table made it way easier because it brought in a wood tone we were already using everywhere, but it also had another one, so I was able to sort of combine those in this space, and I think it looks so cozy. I also had room to add a bar in here, and that's the new one that came with the Party Essentials kit. I thought that worked nicely, and just getting some plants and extra decor in here, a nice painting on the wall, and then a hutch over here, once again, my favorite one from Jungle Adventure. Adding pretty much the clutter I tend to add to this every time, which is some of these painted plates from Parenthood, and then like stacks of plates from one of the packs that has them. These ones are the ones from Horse Ranch, but we also have plates from Home Chef Hustle and Snowy Escape. So there are options if you would like decorative plates in your builds. And then I got like a couple of other decor pieces. We have a plant and a basket. And then we are finally moving upstairs and starting on our first bedroom. This is the primary bedroom. I am just picking out this bed from Horse Ranch and a couple of bedside tables, which are actually from the Laundry Day stuff pack. They're some of my favorites. I use them too often. I'm aware. I can't help it. Whenever I need a side table, I'm like, Laundry Day. I love that side table. So I do use it a little too much, but yeah, just picking out some dressers in here, a nice mirror. I wanted to add some clutter up here as well. And you can see it, that wood wall coming in here. It just looks so nice. It warms up the space. And I am so glad that I decided to do that. So that is going to be in so many of the rooms, and you'll see that in the screenshots, as well as the bathrooms that I don't show on camera because they were just really repetitive, so I didn't include those. But you'll see them in the screenshots at the end of the video, as well as like a floor plan screenshot and pictures outside. Everything you could want to see of this build should be in those screenshots. But anyway, this is the first of the kids' rooms, and I was imagining this was a teenager who just like loves bubblegum pink. I was inspired by this swatch of the high school years bed because I never use this swatch and it's so cute. I've just been in like my pink era lately. I went through a long portion of my life being like, I hate pink. And now at the age of 30, I'm like, okay, maybe I like pink. And so this room is just kind of me showing that off and having fun with the color. I really love the mirror with all of the little stickers on it. I also have a couple of more childlike things on the dresser because I think that's realistic. And also, like, you're never too old for stuffed animals and like collectibles and stuff. That's kind of my whole thing. So anyway, this is the next room. This one is a little bit more like, I guess a little bit more grown up, but I was imagining it was a kid's room. So I have a lot of matching pieces in here from Horse Ranch. It's very green. I think it's just like a really simple room. I guess it doesn't have to be for a kid, but that is kind of what I was imagining. It could be for anyone, but it's like very put together and simple. There's no toys in there. There are some books though. Maybe it's like a spare bedroom. Maybe it's not specifically for a kid. I could see that as a spare bedroom because a spare bedroom doesn't have to have a double bed. It could have a single bed. But anyway, this is the next bedroom. This one is for a kid and it is fully decorated for one. I am using this adorable bed from Horse Ranch with the like little sheep on it. I've never used this swatch before. It is so cute. So I was really inspired by the blue on that. And I brought in some green with the tree decal on the wall and just adding like lots of books and stuff and a couple of other decor pieces like the llama. I've been using pretty much the same lamp in almost every room here. So I included that here as well. And some pens and pencils, you know, just some decor to make the bedside table feel like it's being used. And then I was trying to figure out what to hang up on the wall over here because it felt so empty. And I tried a couple of things, but I ended up going with these bunnies in the end. And then over here, I get a tree decal as well as a height chart. And that is it for that room. And we're working on our final bedroom now, which is actually another one that's like for a teenager or maybe a young adult. This one is very colorful. It's like blue and red. And I think it was a really fun color scheme. Once again, inspired by this bed from high school years. I don't know if I've used this swatch either, but I really liked it. It's a fun color scheme. I just feel like I don't use that often. I don't tend to pair red and blue together, but I thought it worked nicely here. So yeah, just getting a mirror over the dresser, this really pretty tapestry behind the mirror, and some decor up on the dresser as well. There ends up being a little mirror. I know we have a bigger one, but like the compact mirror for you to do your makeup, or maybe not compact, but like a little tabletop mirror, as well as a record player, lots of record storage, and just some accessories around the space to make this space feel lived in and like a teenager lives here. But that is pretty much it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. Click that bell to be notified when I upload. And thank you again to Midas Merge for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you check that out. There are links in the description. And enjoy the screenshots. Bye, everyone.